Hi. I'm Ariana Mendoza, and I am a sophomore here at Tennessee Tech, majoring in civil engineering. And I am planning on transferring to MTSU in the spring semester and changing my major to mechanical engineering. It's just a little bit of information about me, and video is my favorite poem project, and it took me a little bit of different reading a different poems in order to find something that really grabbed my attention. And something that was actually really that grabbed my attention really well was a poem that was written by Joy Harjo, which is titled "Perhaps the World Ends Here." And a little bit of background information on who she is that she was born in Oklahoma, and she was actually the first Native American to have been given the title as a 23rd Poet Laureate, which she won back in 2019 in June. And she is also the second poet ever to have been Poet Laureate for 3 terms. And she also has 9 poetry books, some which also include children's books. And she's also known for writing some music, which you could listen to if you just look it up on the internet. And she's also known for winning many awards. For example, one is the Ruth Lilly Prize in Poetry, which she won back in 2017. That's just a little bit of information about her, and I'm going to go ahead and read the poem. Perhaps the World Ends Here by Joy Harjo. The world begins at a kitchen table. No matter what, we must eat to live. The gifts of earth are brought and prepared, set on the table, so it has been since creation, and it will go on. We chase chickens or dogs away from it, babies' teeth at the corners, they scrape their knees under it. It is here that children are given instructions on what it means to be human. We make men at it, we make women. At this table, we gossip, recall enemies, and ghosts of lovers. Our dreams drink coffee with us as they put their arms around our children. They laugh with us at our poor falling down selves as we put ourselves back together once again at the table. This table has been a house in the rain, an umbrella in the sun. Wars have begun and ended at this table. It is a place to hide in the shadow of terror, a place to celebrate the terrible victory. We have given birth at this table. We have prepared our parents' burial here. At this table, we sing with joy, with sorrow. We pray of suffering and remorse. We give thanks. Perhaps the world will end at the kitchen table, while we are laughing and crying, eating for the last sweet bite. So, my interpretation of this poem and a little bit of what I had read is that this poem is basically like it connects basically all areas and formalities of life that a person goes throughout life. For instance, it starts with birth and it takes you all the way to death, and that can be seen in one of the lines where it says, "We have given birth at this table. We have prepped our parents for burial here." That's like, and this poem basically talks about what I read right here. It says, childhood, love, loss, war, adulthood, and memory are all bound of events that take place at this table, and that is at poemanalysis.com. And that can be seen whenever she's also talking about where she says, baby's teeth at this corner, they scrape their knees under it, and that's basically an example of childhood. And where it talks about war, it's basically talking in the sentence where it says, wars have begun and ended at this table, and it is a place to hide in the shadow of terror, a place to celebrate the terrible victory. And I feel like the table goes on a little bit more beyond life, but more about what America is, because it says a place to celebrate a terrible victory. And a lot of people don't really want to go to war nowadays. Now that a whole bunch of wars and protests are breaking out all over the world, people don't really want to go to war. And that kind of reminded me of the big slogan that was going on during World War II and stuff, that says, make love, not war. Because yes, technically we did win the war, but at what cost and what battles? Like, what did we have to give up in order to win? And I feel like that's why she throws in that word terrible, like to celebrate the terrible. Like, yes, it's a victory, but it was terrible. And and I feel like whenever according to this website, also mentions adulthood, I feel like that can be seen also in the earlier lines where it says, "It is here that that children are given instructions on what it means to be human. We make men at it. We make women." I feel like that's basically following the societal norms that America has put upon us, like men go fight war, women stay home and stuff. And I feel like um, that's basically like having to overcome all the cycles and stuff that America throws at us, or like that societal standards within this world throws at us. For instance, like it says, oh, perhaps the world will end at this kitchen table while we are laughing and crying, eating for the last sweet bite. It's basically my interpretation of it is more of she feels that as if nothing's really going to change and it's going to stay like this, perhaps. And basically, some people are just trying to make the best of it while they can. But some people are aware of what's going on, and hence all the protests and things. Like, while we are laughing and crying and eating of the last sweet bite, I feel like that's like the last sweet bite is basically the idea of death coming towards people. I don't know, and I feel like that just really, like the whole poem overall really just wraps like a good idea and interpretation of what it is to live in America. Because yes, there is a lot of good to it, but there's also a lot of bad to it, and I feel like her writing this and putting it around the kitchen table really brings a good idea of what it is. But yeah, and I don't know, she has like a whole bunch, and she's also known for writing a whole bunch of political poems and stuff, and I was looking into a few others, and they are really eye-openers, and I suggest for a lot of people to go out there and read them, but this one's the one that really managed to grab my attention the most. But yeah, and that just really rounds up my favorite poem, I guess. Thank you.